Good morning and welcome to our seminar this morning. So once again we enter into the awareness of awareness. So if you like this morning, you can use the mantra Ma, entering in to the field through the mantra Ma. Taking in Ma, breathing it in, exhaling Om, clear light. Breathing in Ma, exhaling clear light, Om. And from the base of the spine, breathing in Ma, breathing out Om, clear light. And as we focus on the mantra, that space of the awareness begins to open in the body. We begin to extend that space up and down through the whole body. Ma, Om. Ma, Om. We extend into the field around us. We feel the resonance of the mantra Ma, Om in the field around us. Ma, Om. We extend into the room, to the person on your right, to the person on your left, across the room. Feeling that resonance with the group in the room. Ma, Om. And the field, the mantra, becomes much more subtle now. We simply sense the energy of it. Ma, Om. Feeling it coming into the top of the head, down through the forehead, through the face, through the throat, down into the heart, down into the belly. We extend that same energy from the back of the head, Ma, Om, into the forehead. Ma, Om, into the heart. Ma, Om, into the belly. And then opening in the heart. As we open into the light of the field. And once again we extend to each other, extending to the people on the Zoom as they extend here. Again, feeling that resonance, that connection. Extending to the generational field, that field of the ancestors, the family, the friends, the great teachers that we've known in our life. Our root teacher, Swami Muktananda, Amachi, all all the different Buddhist teachers, Lama Norla, Lama Tarchin, Yang Tang Rinpoche, Dr. Yen Shin from the Taoist tradition. We extend also to all our traditions of which we participate. And to the great archetypes of all the different traditions. And of course, particularly to the Divine Mother in her many forms. So feeling the power of the field, that awakened consciousness that happens as we enter into the great deep. That's always there, but we know it more now. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the subtle body from the point of view of Shaivism, Dzogchen Buddhism, and Taoism. Each tradition tends to create its own nuances, much like language and food. In the subtle body, according to Dzogchen, there's a central channel that rises out of the center of the body. On either side of the central channel, there are two side channels, one on each side of the central channel. One contains positive thoughts, one contains negative thoughts. The central channel is neither positive nor negative. It is the channel of infinite awareness. In Dzogchen, when one enters the central channel, the Rigpa is said to be growing, expanding. Rigpa is the thought-free state, a place between the thoughts. In Shaivism, there's a similar understanding. There's a description of the Kundalini energy and its arising through the subtle body channels. When the Kundalini, as it awakens, it begins to rise and move into the central channel, or Sushumna Nadi, as it's called in Shaivism. In this system, the central channel corresponds to the spinal column. And according to Shaivite Master Lakshman Ju, the ability to enter the central channel is determined by our deepest desires and not really up to our conscious mind. It is to the meditator's benefit to enter the central channel, as once this happens, the energy is said to be awakened. And meditation can happen easily and spontaneously. So as one meditates, the qualities of each chakra are revealed to the meditator. So for example, in the third eye, as one focuses in the third eye, one can attain the thought-free state. In Taoism, an ancient text called The Secret of the Golden Flower tells us that between the eyes there is a field 1 inch square, which is the heavenly heart, the dwelling place of the light. It's said that thoughts are collected here, and light is circulated into the body. And certain conditions may enhance entry into the central channel. Intense practice, focusing in the third eye. This technique is described in the Vijnana Bhairava, a text on Shaivism. This may help to balance the prana, and it may move the prana into the central channel. So receiving transmission from a teacher, Baba Muktananda would often give initiation by touching people on the third eye. He would say that the third eye was the passport center. Here we can gain access to the other spiritual centers. The third condition that might facilitate entry into the central channel is to invoke an archetype representing the universal function of illumination or grace-bestowing power. So this universal archetype may be invoked directly. Whether initiation is given through a particular teacher or whether it's received directly, it's important to understand that this grace-bestowing power does not belong to any individual, but exists in each of us. It is experienced in our own bodies, not outside of us. It is the illumination of our very own intrinsic, innate, immediate awareness. It is the light of self reflecting as our own light. Another way this initiation can happen is through intense devotion. And in the short story of the Elf by José Luis Borges, this awakening and the opening of the third eye is described. His awakening has arisen out of intense devotion. As the autobiographical story opens, we find Borges himself devoted to the memory of his beloved Beatrice, who has died. He is so devoted that every year around her birthday, he goes to her house and pays his respects to her family. He does this so that he can be in the environment where his beloved lived. And after many years of practicing his devotion to the memory of Beatrice, a cousin of Beatrice befriends him. The cousin is extremely boring and arrogant, but because of his devotion to Beatrice, Borges puts up with him. Eventually, the cousin tells him the most important family secret. The secret is that in the basement of the family home, the Elf Point exists. And what is the Elf Point? The Elf Point is the center of the universe. In Kabbalistic literature, the Elf Point represents the Godhead, the center of centers, and the unbounded infinite light. Borges is told to lie on the cold basement floor by the cousin and count up 19 steps, and there he will observe the center of the universe. And so Borges describes the experience. In that unbounded moment, I saw millions of delightful and horrible acts. None amazed me so much as the fact that all occupied the same point without superposition and without transparency. What my eyes saw was simultaneous. What I shall write is successive because language is successive. Something of it, though, I will capture. Under the step to the right, I saw a small iridescent spear of almost unbearable brightness. At first I thought it was spinning, and then I realized that the movement was an illusion produced by the dizzying spectacles inside it. The ALF was probably 2 or 3 centimeters in diameter, but the universal space was contained inside it, with no diminution in size. Each thing, the glass surface of the mirror, let's say, was infinite things, because I could see clearly, see it from the point in the cosmos. I saw the populous sea. I saw dawn and dusk, saw the multitudes of the Americas, saw a silvery spider web at the center of the Black Pyramid. I saw a broken labyrinth. It was London. I saw endless eyes, all very close, studying themselves as if in a mirror, studying me as if in a mirror. So all the mirrors on the planet, none of them reflecting me. I saw clusters of grapes, snow, tobacco, veins of metal, water vapor, equatorial deserts, every grain of sand. I saw a woman in inverse who I shall never forget. I saw her violent hair, her haughty body. I saw a cancer in her breast. Saw a circle of dry soil within a sidewalk where there had once been a tree. And so it goes on like this and on. And finally he sees the remains of Beatrice, the horrendous remains of what had been the lovely, delicious Beatrice. I saw the circulation of my own blood, saw the coils and springs of love and alterations of death. I saw the ALF from every point in the earth. I saw the earth in the ALF, and the ALF in the earth, and the earth in the ALF. I felt dizzy, and I wept, because my eyes had been seeing that secret hypothetical object whose name has been usurped by men, but which no one has ever truly looked upon, the inconceivable universe. I had a sense of infinite veneration, infinite pity. So what had happened to Borges? He had received the gift of inner vision, an opening into the third eye. He had seen the entire universe within this small spherical space of the ALF point. As many of you may know, Borges was blind at the end of his life and had a very, very well developed inner awareness. He had received his initiation into the central channel, into the field of being, through his devotion to Beatrice, and had had this awakening which allowed him to open into the entire universe. So Yen Qin Qigong explains when an opening awakens in the third eye, the functions of the frontal lobe of the brain are greatly enhanced. Dr. Yen describes that in the practice of Qigong, meditation, some functions or siddhis arise in the practitioner. They are the opening of the naked eye. One's vision improves. And the second one is the opening of the heavenly eye. One might begin to see images in meditation, faraway places, people one has never seen before, as if in a dream. Not unlike what Borges experienced. The opening of the wisdom eye. As one begins to understand what has been seen in meditation, things begin to make sense. And the opening of the wisdom eye encompasses 4 skills. Actually being able to see an object from various angles, all at the same time. The ability to understand and intuit the essence and function of objects never before seen. So using direct perception to understand phenomena. The ability to recall the past. For example, someone may present a symptom of illness, and one can see the origins of the illness. The ability to predict the future. And the 4th eye opening is the opening of the Dharma eye. In this opening, one possesses very high energy, and one has the ability to make corrections in a problem. The 5th opening is the opening of the Buddha eye. One becomes one with the energy, the power of the primordial field. This power allows one to help many, many people automatically. So Buddhahood is defined as the recognition of spaciousness, energy, light, compassion in oneself and in all phenomena. One who has the opening of the Buddha eye has the ability to bring others to enlightenment. One of the things our root teacher, Swami Muktananda, would say over and over again: do not become absorbed in these cities, these special powers of the field. The special powers of healing are not the end point. Ultimately, our goal is the Buddha eye. Our orientation and understanding in this center has been to hold the primordial base of awareness and to integrate all experience into this base, into the natural state. So we hold the field of spaciousness, of energy, of light, and compassion, and integrate all things into this natural state, both positive and negative experience. And this integration is not simply limited to the physical realm. It must be extended to the mental, emotional, and archetypal realms of experience if enlightenment within the field is to take place. All experience must be integrated into the awareness. Into the big field. Into the alpha point. That infinite universe. So once again we practice. Once again entering in to that awareness of awareness. And this morning we'll focus that awareness in the 3rd eye. We do this practice for ourselves and for all sentient beings. And as we've been cultivating awareness for some time, we'll do that practice where we focus on family and friends who've been having some difficulty. We'll extend to them. Holding the light. And we'll extend to our country, our president, to North Korea, hoping they all are prudent in their actions. Extending the light. And we have one more chant today. And we'll start to close up right now. If you like, you can rub your hands together till they're hot. Sealing at the heart, the third eye, the top of the head, the belly, and I think we do have one announcement.
Good morning, everyone. And that was a great talk today by Sharon. So next week, there's going to be a Lama coming to Washington, D.C., and he's a very, very renowned Lama, and he's head of a very large monastery, and he's a great scholar and a great Dzogchen teacher. And his name is Kenshin Londro, and it's really great if you get to see him. And he's going to be talking in two places, and there's a poster upstairs. But one place will be at Poolsville, at the monastery there, and Jetsam Sumam, and he'll be talking on, it'll be Wednesday, and I'll be talking on Dzogchen, and he'll also be talking on the Namcho tradition, which is a form of the Nyingma tradition, and has to do with space, the space tradition. And he'll be giving an empowerment for that. So then, on Friday, he'll be talking here in Washington, and it's early in the evening, not too late. Has a very Washington title, too, Exceptional Living. Sort of like a garden magazine, actually. But I would really go to see that because he really is a fantastic teacher and transmitter of the energy. And the posters are upstairs.
So if you'd like to stay and meditate a while, you're welcome.